Hello, fellow fantasy sports fans. Welcome to MFSN, the Hub's fantasy baseball draft show. Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm Dr. Dan Ratner, and I'm here, as always, with Casey, Vlad to the Bone, Scheinvold, and Ross the Boss.
Hey, everybody. Ross the Boss here. And yes, we're back with fantasy baseball. And yes, there have been a lot of new players, new teams, and it's going to be a great season. I'm excited. This is our first preview show of the year, which I'm so excited. I've been studying every day. Dan has me reading every day for weeks. So this is the payoff.
You're finally here, Ross. Well done. Nice job. All right, so we know we're here to talk about catchers and first base. I just want to say at the outset, like when people tune into these shows, I think one of the things that they're probably not looking for is like, what's your top 10? Because the top 10 is pretty obvious at most positions, or at least it's pretty clear. There's some debate. So what we're going to cover is this. Where do we disagree with the prevailing rankings, whether it's Fantasy Pros or Yahoo? In the top 10, where do we disagree? Then we're going to talk about value picks, busts, and sleepers. And so we're starting with catchers. So let's look at what's one of the disagreements that you guys have in the top 10. I'm looking right now to see, like I'm matching up with Fantasy Pros. There's an interesting one where Ben Rice is third on Fantasy Pros. Casey, you probably love that.
Yeah, I have him fourth. So
you have him fourth. I have him seventh. Where do you have him ranked, Ross?
I have him sixth. He had a huge injury. He was sleeping in the wrong position a few nights ago.
Yes,
and he could go in the IL. I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, that's what I said you guys that on our chat.
The question is he in touch with Kyle Tucker or not?
That's right.
They're
on opposite coasts now, so you're pretty safe. Different time zones. I think they're.
You got to explain the Kyle Tucker joke because people.
The bruised shin.
Oh, people. Yeah, I just assumed everyone would know.
How many months?
He was out for 3.5 months with a bruised shin. I mean, I was like, this is like one for the record books. I can't even understand what possibly happened here, but that sounds like we're doing an outfield preview. So Ross, who in the top 10 does not align with you as you're looking at it?
I mean, everybody has William Contreras as the number 2 catcher, and I don't agree with that. I mean, last year, and he had 17 home runs, and I know he had 76 RBIs and 6 stolen bases. I mean, those are good stats, but this is a category that last year we all kind of said, who cares about catchers? You know, they're all mediocre at best. They're not going to win you a fantasy baseball championship, so who cares? Now I kind of turned my leaf on that. I think the catcher position is loaded. I think there's a lot of great value. You can get some really good players late in the draft. And if you're in a 10-person league, I think that from 1 to 10, except for I think one is like the king, obviously, 60 home runs last year. But the rest are kind of like a mix and match. I mean, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but that's what I'm thinking is like you can just take the 2 through 9 and just put them in a hat and shake it up and pick them. You know,
yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, look, we felt catcher was weak last year, and then Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs. So like,
and he was robbed by the MVP from Casey Scheinfeld, voted for Aaron Judge, and he lost it because of him.
I hope so.
All because
Aaron Judge deserved it.
Yeah, well, but Cal Raleigh hitting 60. I mean, how many people in baseball
60.
history have hit 60 homers?
Oh, no, I get it.
Dumpster.
The big dumper.
So obviously he's ahead of everyone else. But I agree with you, Ross. I think there's just this big jumbled mix in the middle. I'm interested, though, who you guys have at number 2, because I think there's different reasons to rank different players at that spot.
I mean, go ahead.
Okay. I actually,
you were like,
at number 2, I have, maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but I have Shane Langoliers.
Ooh, I like that pick.
I have him 5th.
He batted almost 280 last year with 31 home runs and 7 stolen bases. And he's in Sacramento, which is a great hitter's park because that's where the California Athletics, I don't know what they're calling themselves now, the athletic baseball team, are in a great hitter's park. And then Las Vegas, where he's going to go, even if you're looking into a keeper or dynasty league, it's also supposed to be a good hitter's park that they're building there. So look, his batting average doesn't hurt you. That's an ascending lineup, and he's going to be in a predominant place in there. He's got 150 combined runs scored and RBIs and 31 home runs. To me, as much as I wanted to put Ben Rice there, I couldn't. I had Langoliers there. I considered Hunter Goodman in that top 3 or 4 spot, but because I love Colorado and anybody who can hit the ball hard in Colorado is going to be good. But it's a 1-year sample size, so I don't know how much I fully trust it yet to put him up there.
I like that, Casey. I have him number 3. I really think he's somebody that can hit 30 home runs again and if he bats over 270, that's all plus. It's plus, plus, plus. And as you know, the A's are one of my favorite teams in the American League, so I like that.
So, Ross, who do you have at number 2 then?
I'm going with a dark horse just because he didn't play the whole year last year for the Braves. And when he did play, it was like every game he had an RBI or a home run or he did something to affect the game, is Drake Baldwin. I mean, I like this
Drake
kid,
Baldwin.
And he's young. And last year he had 19 home runs, he had 56 runs scored and 80 RBIs. And Casey, don't get me wrong, but did he start the year in April at catcher for the Braves? I don't remember.
No, he got called up early, but
he got called up early, but 80 RBIs, case, and 19 home runs, not playing the whole season. And he also shared time also. So I have Drake Baldwin just because I like getting players like that are coming back from a good year, and I like the up and coming stuff. But that's my number 2.
Well, you like upside, and Drake Baldwin is my number 1 sleeper. I don't know if you can even call him a sleeper because,
I like that one.
On Fantasy Pros, he's ranked 8th. I actually only have him ranked 6th, but I could easily see him. I could easily see him coming in at second.
You just take your hat and shake the names.
Right, but that just solidifies Ross's point that after 1, 2 through 7 could be anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I have Will Smith. I know there's Smarts, but he's in the Dodgers lineup. He's always been good. He was even good last year.
There's no complaint.
Third,
he's protected totally in that lineup.
Yeah. Now, third, I had Bill Contreras. I love to call him Bill Contreras because no one does that.
I call him Billy.
Billy. But Drake Baldwin and Shea Langoliers are 2 of my favorite ones. Ben Rice, I have 7th. I love him too. It's all over the place. And Hunter Goodman, that's a really good question for people to ask about catcher because the Colorado setup is so great, obviously, but we've actually seen a lot of Colorado hitters just not continue to do what they did. Last year it was Brenton Doyle, I think, did not do what he did the year before, and so I just ranked him for some risk there.
Is Colorado? Are they still are they AAA team yet, or are they still Major League Baseball?
They have not. Yeah, they're not relegating any teams yet, but I think they should.
Yeah.
I think they should relegate, and they should even switch sports. They should have the Cleveland Browns play in Major League Baseball just because they're that inept in football. All right, that's an aside, but let's talk about sleepers. I already mentioned Drake Baldwin as a sleeper of mine. He's not one of the deep sleepers, but who else do you have that either is in your top 10 rankings that is going to be a surprise and be much higher, or people that are not in the top 10, nobody's really talking about that you want to highlight at catcher?
For me, that guy is the catcher that's not going to be the first picked in his own team, the Kansas City Royals, because everybody's talking about Salvador Perez, but newsflash, Perez isn't a catcher anymore. He just qualifies a catcher for this coming year. And part of that reason is because Carter Jensen, the rookie 22-year-old kid from the Royals, was great last year when he came up. He batted 300 in the majors, and that was after 290 in AA and AAA. He's got a great eye, a low. He has a decent. He strikes out a bit too much, but his exit velocity has been awesome. Like, I could see this guy being kind of the Shane Langoliers of this year, where you get him late and suddenly you have a guy who's going to bat 280 and they're moving the fences in Kansas City, which is a big deal. It makes it a much more hitter-friendly park. And I could see him having a 30 home run, 280 year at catcher there for you too. And he's 22 years old.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Ross, how about you?
Somebody that came up when he came up from the White Sox, I mean, he had so much press, and so people were saying, this guy's it. This guy's going to help our franchise. And he hit 270 and he had 8 home runs and 35 RBIs in a quarter of a season. But Kyle Teal of the White Sox is somebody that you can probably get late in the draft if you don't have a catcher. His upside is huge. I mean, this guy has so much potential. And just for my sleeper point is I like him. And you mentioned Salvador Perez, 100 RBIs last year and 30 home runs, and we're not even taking him in the top 3 or 4, 5 guys.
So I actually have him ranked 4 because he just has that huge upside. But
the thing is, every year, and I had him last year in fantasy, and I did not protect him this year, so he's a free agent. He is somebody that every year people say, "Oh, this guy's old. He won't be having the year he had last year." And you know what? He had a good year last year. And he played a lot. And he's a big dude. He's like 6'6". He's a big guy. And again, it's somebody that people pass on because age discrimination, and we're all guilty of it. But you know what? I like him this year, and Salvador Perez is another guy that you can get kind of late and cheap. So there you go.
Yeah, and I'll also add it to Casey's point that he's not going to be at catcher much. That just protects him. It makes him more durable.
Yeah.
So I think both players are worth looking at.
He'll catch a few games too. He'll when that one guy wants to take a rest, he'll catch.
I'm going to add one, Francisco Alvarez. He was a big time prospect. He's the kind of guy that I would take late in a draft as a second catcher. He's got huge upside. And if he breaks out, you can deal your starting catcher.
Well, and if Alvarez he got demoted at the beginning of last season because he was so bad, and he went down to AAA, must have fixed something because in 26 games he hit 12 bombs, then got called up and played really well the last 2 months of the season. Would be on pace for a 30 home run season, cut his strikeout rate by almost 8%. So yeah, I mean, he's a good pick to break out too. And somebody not to forget about is somebody we were all high on as a sleeper last year is Ivan Herrera, and people aren't talking about him all of a sudden now because he had some elbow issues. But I mean, he only played 107 games and 284 with 19 home runs, 66 RBIs.
Yeah.
I mean, you project that out to a full season, and he's a 30 home run guy.
I have him 8.
By the way, just reinforces our point that catcher is surprisingly deep all of a sudden. Like Cal Raleigh's an outlier, like a 60 home run guy is an outlier at the catcher position. After that, I mean, we haven't even talked about the biggest bust from last year, Adley Rutschman, who's probably dropped out of everybody's top 12 or 14 catchers, but we know what the pedigree is, and we could easily be talking about him as the number 2 catcher next year. I have him as
a sleeper because everybody's not thinking about him anymore. He's on my list. I like Adley. I like JT Realmuto.
Yeah, I actually have Real Muto as a bust.
So, I mean, there's so many, like you said, Casey, there's so many good catchers this year that we can take. And also, I mean, there's just the whole list. Even Harry Ford of the Nationals I like. I think he has potential. I mean, so it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, I have Adley Rutschman as a value pick just because he's a known name. I have Ivan Herrera 8th. So I totally agree with those. Let's add a couple more. Oh, and I had JT Realmuto actually as a bust.
Just so you guys know, I'm predicting the St. Louis Cardinals, you heard from me first, Ross the Boss, will be in last place, will have the worst record, even worse than Colorado in Major League Baseball, and they're just going to be a nightmare team to play against us because, if you have anybody fantasy-wise on their team, I hope you either trade them or don't draft them.
Interesting. Just remember, there's a lot of value even on bad teams.
And guys, we didn't talk about the legitimate 2020 guy at catcher position, Justin Ramirez. Nobody talked about him. The Miami Marlins catcher.
I don't quite know what to make of him. I mean,
I guess my thinking is I can live with in today's day and age with a 240 batting average, and he had.
That's like an all-star.
21 home runs, 16 stolen bases. It's his expected batting average was 259. So he actually was below what he should have been at. So it's easy to see him being 250 and with a full season go 25 home runs, 20 stolen bases. That used to be a guy who was a top one of the first 5 rounds picked at any position.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I didn't know what to make of him. I don't have him in my top 10. I just didn't know where to put him. Ross, what do you say about him?
I like him a lot. I think the Marlins are going to surprise a lot of people. I know everybody's talking about the Mets. I know everybody's talking about the Phillies, but I like the Marlins too. I think they have a young, really good nucleus of a team. And I like Ramirez. I think he's a legit 2020 guy, 100%. Agree with Casey again. I don't know why, but I do.
Wow. It happens sometimes. All right. So let's talk about value picks and busts. You can highlight one of each. Just value pick to me is more of like, it's not a sleeper because it's a known name, but you're getting good value. And busts are, you just think either they're being drafted too highly or you think they're actually just going to be bad. So Ross, highlight a value pick that you have and a bust.
Value pick, Yanir Diaz of the Houston Astros.
Nice pronunciation.
Last year, 20 home runs, 70 RBIs. He's legit. I mean, the Astros, every year people say, oh, they're not going to do well this year. And every year they surprise people and they do well. So I like Diaz as a great value pick, sleeper pick, whatever you want to put him anywhere. He gets no press at all. People can't point him out in the police lineup, which is fine. But fantasy-wise, he is valuable. He's one of those catchers that if you draft, he's not going to hurt you. God, it was so hard to figure out who's going to be a bust. What guy's going to be drafted in the league, not a waiver guy, but a guy that's going to be drafted and not have a good season and that's going to hurt you a lot. And if I had to pick one, it's very hard to do. I would take Ben Rice of the Yankees because people are taking him higher in the draft. I know, Casey, that hurts you, but I just feel there's other values.
It doesn't mean he's not productive. It means he's overvalued as a top.
I know he had 26
in the first five rounds.
Pedigree, but I just feel that he's just valued too high. But that's me.
No, I don't. I'm not arguing that. I'm not going to argue and say he's not going to be a bust. If somebody has to reach into the top 50 picks to get him, yeah, that's too high for me.
Especially with the depth we're
saying.
seeing.
I'm not saying he's going to have a bad year. I'm just saying he's going to.
Like, I'm of the belief that 90% of the starting baseball players are a good pick if you get them at the right spot in the draft. Like, somebody in the 8th round is really valuable. If you took them in the 4th round, they're not valuable.
All right, Case, let's talk with you about value picks and busts. Give me one of each.
My value pick is actually a rookie, Samuel Basalo, who got a cup of coffee last year with the Orioles. He wasn't very good, but this kid is only 20 years old and he's dominated the minor league level. They're keeping him up and making him a potential DH. That's how good of a hitter they think he is, even though he's so young, and they have Adley Rutschman blocking him at catcher. And if Rutschman continues to struggle, who knows? Maybe he'll get some time behind the plate and they'll move Rutschman away from catcher to see if that frees up his bat some. But I think this kid is going to be a star. I don't know if he's going to break out this year or not, but you can get him pretty much at the end of a draft for not much more than a 14th or 15th round pick. And he can probably give you top 10 value at catcher. So that's my value pick. My bust, I had a hard time with bust because I don't think any catchers deserve to be taken that high. So it's hard to say which one's a bust, but I think Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays had a decent year last year, batted .270, hit 15 home runs. The underlying metrics don't include a lot of really solid contact. He's more of a singles hitter. I don't think he's going to be more than a 1 or maybe 2 category producer. And if you're drafting him as your number 1 catcher, I think you could be disappointed.
All right. I'm going to highlight, it's funny because I actually was going to say Alejandro Kirk as a value pick, which this shows you. Well, that is what I'm saying. But it just shows you that you can look at people in different ways, because Alejandro Kirk's somebody that is either going to fall way off the radar and you're going to get a steal if he does well, or isn't going to hurt you. And I like that combination because you can get him late for almost nothing. And, he does have some pop and he's in a great lineup. So, but like we said, these are all, you could take almost anybody. If I did have a bust, to me, it would be Hunter Goodman, because he, like what Ross was saying about Ben Rice, there are some people who just, they get the man crush and they think that he's going to go crazy and he's in Colorado and all that stuff. And I just think he's being overvalued and I don't think it's going to happen. The other bust that I had, as I mentioned, JT Realmuto, I just think he's done. I do not see him producing.
I love that
but
guy.
How can you call him a bust when you would get him in the 20th round? So
That's
I
what
don't
I
know
was
that you
thinking. I
can
mean,
do
he'll
that.
be lucky to be drafted this season. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So I can't really say. I just don't think he's going to be that good. But all right, let's move to
Hope
first
he is.
base, guys. At first base, is there anybody like that's head and shoulders above? I mean, the way I'm looking at it, it looks like there's a tier with 3 people in it to me.
Okay.
At the top, how many do you have in your top tier?
I have 2.
I have 4.
4. All right. Who's the 4th, Ross? I'm curious because it's probably the same top 3 as mine.
Matt Olson. I think I'll have a good year this year. He was hurt
Okay.
last year.
I mean, I have him 7th. Okay,
That's
so
fine.
who are your top 2 then? Who gets left out?
Nick Kurtz and Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Okay, so Pete Alonso does not make
He's
it
on my
into your
second
top tier.
tier.
Interesting. Why?
Well, for a couple of reasons. One, he's a little too one-dimensional for me. And a lot of times when players switch leagues, they struggle their first year out of the gates when they switch that. Look at Francisco Lindor, who's now, I mean, he's hurt now, but for the past 3 years in New York, he's been maybe the best shortstop in baseball.
Really
but that first year, what was he batting? Like 240 something going into August. He's never been a big contact guy. He's always been a big swing and miss guy to begin with. I just think he might struggle going to the new team. So that was the one reason I knocked him down to he's at the top of the second tier. I just think Kurtz and Guerrero Jr. are just different.
All right. Ross, is there anybody who is in the, typical top 10 ranking or 12 that you just don't see adding up?
In the top 10?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a drop off after, I would say, 7. But I mean, I kind of agree with everybody else. I mean, people have Rice as a first baseman also, and he barely makes my top 12.
Mm-hmm.
But first baseman, if it's a 10-person league, there's 10 legitimate, really good first basemen. I mean, there's 10 guys that I wouldn't blink twice having them start for my team. I would be fine. Obviously, I think Vlad to the Bone, Casey Scheinfeld, his namesake is number 1 in my book. But, Guerrero is just every year this guy's money. And I love watching him play. He's fun. He does everything. And he's always consistent. And then Nick Kurtz, the rookie of the year, I mean, monster last year. I mean,
that
look
was
at his
historic
stats.
what he did.
And Casey, you're right. Playing in Sacramento is a big plus for these players. I mean, their stats go up tremendously playing in that Cow Palace. I mean, it's Cowtown.
And let's remember too, Nick Kurtz hit 36 homers in 420 at bats.
I know.
I mean, and his OPS was over 1,000. That's
why he won Rookie of the Year. So, that's why it's Guerrero and Kurtz 1-2 for me. I don't know what you guys have.
I have them also that way, but then I have Pete Alonso 3rd.
Me too.
Yep. So, and I also agree with you, Ross, that I think 1 through 7 much higher than the others. Then to me, there's still solid first basemen.
Seattle, they let their first baseman go because they wanted to sign Naylor. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how much they believe in the guy, and I like Naylor.
I just can't believe he stole 30 bases last year. That's insane.
I know. And Naylor to me is somebody that's going to have another great season. I mean, he's somebody you can draft in the top.
I have him as my bust.
Really? Oh.
I'm not high on Naylor myself, but I mean, what he did last year was
it was great. Insane. Seattle's different.
I think Seattle with their pitching staff, and with their hitters they have, I think they're going to win their division easily. Casey Scheinfeld, I think they can win the World Series.
But that's their pitching. He doesn't pitch.
I know, but their hitting,
and he doesn't hit their pitching either.
But he doesn't need to run if they're winning every game.
A lot of good players on their team, Casey. They'll be good this year.
The thing about Naylor though is if Naylor doesn't run, he becomes very, very average at best. And he's switching teams again. It just feels like I don't know. I'm not saying he's not good, but I would not. He's not going to end up on a lot of my teams. Fine. Oh well. Who sneaks into the top 10 that is a surprise for you that you don't think other people will have?
Oh, good question.
Casey.
I like to think they all are, but
I love Vinny Pasquantino. Did I say it right, Case?
Pasquantino.
Pasquatch.
Pasquantino. My Italian's not that great, but I mean, he's somebody that RBI almost every day. I mean, every day this guy gets ribbies. He gets key hits. Anytime Kansas City needs a hit, this guy's there. I mean, I like Vinny a lot, and I think Kansas City is going to be like a 500 team. I think they'll be okay.
And don't forget, they moved the fences in Kansas City. So
again,
where he had, what did he have last year? 32 home runs, 31 home runs?
Yeah.
I mean, that could be another 2 to 3 home runs for him, which is pretty big. He had 32 home runs, 113 RBIs, and he bat 265. Like that's.
Yeah, so he's somebody that's borderline top 10, right, Case? Do you have him? Where's he rated on your list? I'm curious.
I have Pasquantino?
Yeah.
I have him 10.
Casey, I see. I
have him at 8.
10. See, he's right on the border. So I picked a player that you guys are, he's good, but he's not good enough to be top 8 or top whatever. So Vinny to me is somebody that if he's starting first baseman on your fantasy team, I could sleep at night. I mean, I really can.
So the guy that I have in that spot is Tyler Soderstrom.
I was just going to say he's my value pick.
Yeah, tell me why.
I mean, first of all, that lineup's great, but also his underlying numbers just look great. I was high on him going into last year. I scooped him up early, and I had my eye on him the whole time.
Yeah, he struggled pretty badly in May and June, but then because he hit 9 home runs or whatever it was in April and was like the hottest hitter in the world.
Right.
Struggled May and June, but then from July on, he batted 300 and ended up with 25 home runs.
Yeah, and I think people have a tendency to overcorrect when they see somebody doing really well and then going in the tank. They're just like, oh, he doesn't know how to hit. He's lost, and they'll cut him, and you could scoop him up if that happens. But the other guy that I really like for a value pick is Jonathan Aranda. This guy is really a great hitter. I mean, he doesn't provide any speed, but he's a great hitter. I wish he still qualified at second base, though.
He also doesn't elevate the ball. That's the big issue I have. He is a great hitter, but he's a line drive guy. And hopefully, if he can elevate a little bit, you're right. He'll be a stud because he'll have suddenly 25 to 30 home runs instead of 14.
And then it becomes, he becomes pretty serious. I mean, Aranda could get to number 8, I think, on the list if he really pushes it. But so I have him as a value pick. All right, let's move to sleepers. Who's somebody that you're not hearing many people talk about that you think could make a big leap forward?
Somebody who not everybody's talking about, and I think he qualifies at third base also, so maybe it's better to talk about him there, is Michael Busch of the Chicago Cubs. 34 home runs, 90 RBIs last year, and a 260 batting average. And people aren't ranking him in their top 12 or 14 first basemen in all these rankings. I mean, this guy, he already did it in Chicago, which is a tough hitting environment. So he's proven he can do it. I don't see why repeats aren't possible. His underlying metrics were not bad. He's not going to run at all. He only struck out 139 times. Isn't it funny that we're saying only?
Times have changed.
But, playing time will be the biggest issue for him because they just signed Alex Bregman to play third base. And I don't know who else they have at first, but he could be in some platoon splits. But if he's getting a majority of the at-bats, I mean, you're talking a 3,100 guy who's not in the top 15 at a position or 14 at a position. Now, he might be higher ranked in third base. I haven't gone through my third baseman ranks yet, and that's obviously a weaker position. But as far as first baseman go, he's super valuable.
So weird how the positions change, though, because third base did not used to be a weak position in a lot of years, and it just has been for a number of years now.
I mean, everybody got old quick. I mean, they really did. All these players.
All right,
somebody
Ross.
that I love. I love this guy. I think he's going to have a big year. I'm going to draft him, and you guys will be bugging me to get them on your team. I like this kid from the Angels, Nolan. If I pronounce his name wrong, Casey,
Shamwell, is that?
Shamwell. I think this guy's a total stud. He'll have over 30 home runs. He'll bat 280, 290. He'll have over 100 RBIs this year for the Angels if he stays healthy. This guy's the real deal. I'm telling you, he's going to hit Major League Baseball, and he could even be an all-star, Casey. I don't know. The other guy that's a sleeper, the guy that's a sleeper that I have no idea how to read this guy because sometimes these Japanese guys come to Major League Baseball and they can't hit. I mean, that happens. And then sometimes they come here and they're monsters. But the guy the White Sox drafted, the guy the White Sox signed for multi-millions of dollars, Murakami. Did I say it right?
Murakami.
Munetaka Murakami. I wanted to hear him say it. It was more fun.
We had to
first base and third base, but people are saying, a lot of press people are saying this guy is the real deal. Like a lot of big people in baseball, like Jeff Passman. A lot of these reporters are like saying, you got to watch out for this guy. So, as you know, I love Japanese ball players. I love drafting them. I love having them on my team. It could be worth a look, especially if he's playing first and third. And we always talk about third base being a weak position. So, yeah. I mean, those are my two sleeper picks and value picks. I'll do it all in one.
Nice. Casey, you and I will have to analyze as psychologists why Ross likes Japanese baseball players so much. We'll figure that out.
I do like sushi too. I love sushi.
There's just something.
Maybe that's why.
At least once a week, I'm eating sushi.
I'm going to mention as another sleeper, one of my Cleveland.
I was going to name him. Yep, go for it.
Kyle Manzardo.
I
really like Manzardo.
He's going to be a 30-100 guy.
I think he's going to be really good. Yeah. I'm most excited about him. I said value pick for Jonathan Aranda. In terms of busts, I hate to say it, but I think Bryce Harper is kind of a bit of a bust. He's ranked highly. I have him on my team, so I don't want to say this, but here's the thing. What you're going to have to pay for Bryce Harper is almost always going to be below what you're going to get at this point. And it's mostly because of injury. He's a great player, but
yeah, I mean, he can be 25 home runs and 15 stolen bases, which is great. But if you're paying third round value for that, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, he's so injury prone now too, Casey.
Yeah. You know what I mean? My bust, and it's not because I think he's a bust as in the majors, but he's a bust at where you got to pick him, is Nick Kurtz. Because last year was historic, but look at what Austin Riley did in his first year and then came back and had to learn, like when the league figured him out, had a year where he was terrible or like 6-7 months where he was terrible before he readjusted to them. You're going to have growing pains with Nick Kurtz. What he did last year was amazing. And maybe I could be wrong, but remember Richie Sexson, like these 6'7", 6'8" first basemen. This league is too good at analyzing swings and finding holes.
I do think strike zone,
right? And it's huge there. That's why I mentioned Richie Sexson.
Yeah.
And so I think I have him as a bust, but not because I don't think he's still going to be a top 5 or 6 first baseman, but you're paying first round value for him, and there's a lot of risk associated with that. And I'm going to name as my sleeper value breakout guy. I'm going to Ross's hometown. There's this kid, Sal Stewart.
Rookie of the year. He'll be rookie of the year this year.
Who is just, I mean, when he came up last year, he had a 55 at bats, a cup of coffee, not the worst, 255 with 5 home runs, but in the minors, 20 home runs, 17 stolen bases, a 310 batting average. Exit velocity is on par with Corey Seager and Manny Machado. I think this guy's going to be penciled in at first baseman as their first baseman.
The rumor is in Cincinnati, just so you know, he's going to play second base for the Reds this season. That's what they're saying.
That'd be even better. That would be even better. But what I'm saying is I think in that great American ballpark with his exit velocities, and he can run a little bit, he to me is he's one of my bigger targets, one of my top targets to get there in the later middle rounds of the draft.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, I think we highlighted players very well. Hopefully it helps a lot of people out there. I know I'm chomping at the bit to get going on this season. Very exciting when baseball starts. So next week, we're going to be doing second base and shortstop.
Okay.
So, guys, get your rankings ready. We'll compare. We're going to do the same thing we did here, where we're going to compare notes on what are the consensus rankings and what do we feel is out of line with those. And then we're going to do sleepers, value picks, and busts.
And will Casey Scheinfeld make Illy De La Cruz a bust again, or will he jump on the bandwagon and say this guy's
I have a feeling he may never.
My goodness, I am getting crushed on that still.
Of course, that's all we like to do is to crush you, Casey. It's fun.
And I said he was a bust. It's kind of the same way I talked about Nick Kurtz. Not that I didn't think he was a top 20 player.
I know. Casey, don't have to explain yourself. I'm teasing.
I do to you.
I know we have fun.
I'm getting ragged on by the guy who can't even pronounce a name.
No, we like to have fun. But I don't. If you guys have time today, Google Ellie De La Cruz, like ripped or something like that. He got so big during the off season. You can't even recognize.
Oh, that means he's going to get injured.
I know. I mean, he looks like he's taking something, but
so Casey is saying he's going to be a bust again.
I don't know.
There you go.
I'm just saying he's ripped up. Remember how skinny he was? I mean, he was like a pencil. He's not a pencil anymore. So just take it. We'll talk about it next week.
All right, guys. So we will be back next week, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be talking about second base and shortstop. We'll continue the previews right up until your draft. Major League Baseball starts on March 25th, and then we're going to have waiver wire shows on Tuesdays and strategy shows on Thursdays. Take you through the baseball season. We may even talk about fantasy, a dynasty football somewhere in there around draft time. It's going to be very hard to resist that. All right, guys. It is a pleasure. Casey, Ross, so much fun being with you. See you soon.